What's up, guys? Killer back here with another Empires and Puzzles video. Sorry I am late to the party. Man, I've been up since 6, but I've been working since 8. It is 10:30 now. I'm just getting a chance to actually talk about the hero of the month for February,
Uraerus.
Uraerus. So, Uraerus represents the serpent Egyptian deity. So, let me see. It says emblem of supreme power worn on the headdress of ancient Egyptian deities and sovereigns. So it's a representation of a, let's see, sacred serpent. Sorry, sacred serpent. So like it's a sacred serpent on the headdress of royalty for Egyptians is basically I think what it stands for, and it's
Uraeus.
Uraeus. Uraeus. I'm actually going to pronounce it right and say it correctly for you guys for once. Thank you, Google Translate. Let's get into them. I apologize I'm late. I know you guys probably watched 1,000 of these videos. Hopefully everybody's looking for the killer one, but here he is. Uraeus. First off, he's a sorcerer. Um, I'm okay with that. I'm not. I don't think it was necessarily a class form. Basically, the sorcerer gives you 2 chance at 50% mana deduction. I think it's interesting giving mana deduction, though he is only hitting one target originally. All right. Second, passive. Now this passive I think is really cool. Health from dead minions. Hero gains 50 HP. I think that's a moderate amount because 50 HP might be more HP than his 80. Just at 80, no emblems. Minion he's gonna get from his special going off. So I mean, and I know it's probably more than that. I'm just making jokes right there. But 50 HP is pretty good. So he has a kind of a built-in heal on himself after his special goes off, or if you put him with more minion people. I think let's keep going down the passive. So passive to sand damage, that's kind of weak. I think when you get these dual passive heroes like you did with Bertilla or whatever her name is, the green hero from last month, you're going to get one aggressive passive or one defensive passive and one offensive passive. But in this case, I think he got two defensive passives. So he's got like a healing passive and he's got that healing passive and he's got a resistance to a dot, which is cool. But the problem I have with the yellow passives is just like when Onatel came out. Onatel came out with blind. Who cares that a yellow hero gets innate resistance to blind because you don't take yellow heroes in general to yellow heroes. You take purple heroes. So them getting a defensive passive of something that would give them better defense against purples would be better. That's why Cutchin was so big for a while, and that's kind of why I think why like Vela and I guess Telluria were so big because their passive kind of went well with when they were out at the time with the resistance to minion damage from for Vela, and I think no minion removal for Telluria. Um, so it eliminated a lot of threats that were kind of there. I guess it kind of was a aggressive passive towards their abilities. This case, I think it's just like Onatel. Sand and blind, who cares about that on a yellow because yellows have blind and sand, and I'm not taking a blinder to fight
Uraeus.
Uraeus on on uh on defense or offense or whatever. Okay, now that we got that done, let's get into his stats. So a 778 attack, a 727 defense, and a 1324 health. I'm cool with that balance. Looks like he's probably going to be a flank or a wing. I personally was thinking taking him like all day. I was thinking, man, could you tank this guy? 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 And I was like, I don't know if you could tank this guy. It just all depends on your health. All depends on the health. And I possibly would run him health and defense if I was going to go for putting him on my defensive team. If I'm going to use him for offense like I plan to do, I'll probably go attack health as far as emblems. Um, Strike of the Cobra. Let's talk about it. It's average speed attack, so you got 12 tile without a mana troop, and then if you increase the mana troop somewhere between 10.5 and 10 tiles, something like that, maybe 9.5. Um, Deals 485 damage to the target. This is interesting. So we're almost creeping to where the snipers are at 500%, like almost a base, and I kind of like it. I gotta go see Gregarian before we get any further and see what his is. So Gregarian's average is at 555. All right, not mad about that. Um, that's great damage. I think that alone is great. Not mad about that at all. Damage bypasses minions. That's great. So now we have two two kind of two abilities to go with the special. So I'm happy about that. All enemies who own a minion receive 315 damage or 300 damage sand damage over 3 turns. I like that as well. So you get a dot if you have a minion. Um, right off the rip, I'm gonna say just based off those three, independent contractor, man. I can't give an average independent contractor that much of a grade. I think this guy is the vaccination for COVID-19. You wanted it last year in March, but it just came out this year in January. You know what I'm saying? Like if this guy would have been Bae Young or would have been God, who was he? If this guy would have been Melosi or Bae Young, then he would be an all-star. But like, who cares? We're going away kind of from. I think to me, we're going away from a minion tank. Like, if we're going red tanks, it's only one that produces minions, and that's Queen of Hearts. If you go with Black Knight, or if you go with some of the other ones, I mean, great counter to Telluria. I guess a great counter to Krampus. Um, that's pretty cool there. So if you're like struggling against Krampus, this guy is going to clearly do something there. I don't know if his special with the sand damage to all enemies with the minion goes past the taunt. That would be a good question to find out. If that happens, he's definitely a counter to Krampus, definitely a counter to Telluria for sure, and some of the other minion heroes. But I think it's just adding old tech that we needed last year. Like I needed people needed the COVID vaccine last year. We needed that 6 months ago. We don't need it this year. I think you can skip this guy. I don't think he's anything out of the ordinary special. I think his initial damage is great for average. Like I'll give you that. That's strong. But I'm just not like I'm not looking at this guy for that. Like I mean I would love to level him, love the max him. I'm looking forward to getting him this month, but I'm just not so far. I'm not sold. And then of course he is the last of the hero of the months with this passive elemental link. Summons a minion for all holy allies, 5% health, and a 10% attack. So he already has a built-in minion to go with his passive of healing himself. So he's going to get 50 HP as soon as he goes off because that minion goes away ASAP. Um, I will say this about him. I'm happy to have another yellow minion summoner because that gives a lot of people rainbow for minions now because we have plenty of purple minion summoners in the game recently. We have plenty of red minion summoners in the game recently. We have a lot of green ones and we actually have blue ones too. So happy to see him get another yellow minion summoner. I guess blue. I take that back. Blue has a select amount of minion summoners. I have to really look at blue. Blue didn't have that many minion summoners, so I take that back. But it's nice to have another yellow one. Before him was Delilah, and I don't have Delilah, so me getting him this month does add the yellow tier of minion summoners. I do have Glinda, so that's my blue one. But I was trying to think of anybody else blue that has minion summoners. That's to me the bigger thing here is that you have a yellow minion summoner, and I think that's cool. That damage is pretty smack. I like that. I kind of put him in the class of Gregarion. I put him in the class of kind of like Kagan Skin, and then I was thinking more on the lines of that bigger hit from the snipe. But I couldn't think of who else. I'm guessing Kagan, Gregarion, and him are kind of in that class of this. I'll say this: for him to have those other two abilities, which are great, he's just an independent contractor. This is going to be your guy. This, to me, on offense, is going to be your wing, possibly your flank, but for me on offense, I'd put him in a wing position because I'd want to set up the damage before using him and making him go off. Not really, not really. It's not hard to find a place for him to go on a roster. I mean, because he has that nice hit, but I don't see him being used in Titans. I don't see him being used um, in PvE, I guess, because he doesn't do enough for the team. Like outside of running a yellow team and adding minions to them, what else is he doing for your team? He's just really independent. And then when you're playing PvE side of it, how many PvE bosses summon minions? They just don't. So he's more raid tournament I think driven, and I think that's cool. So like, but I just don't know what you're doing with him on a Titan. That's why I think some people are saying, oh, this guy's the A out of the hero of the months. I'll be honest with you. I think since Zulag, all these guys have been at best a B, B minus, all of them. And this guy to me is a B at that best. He's not an A. He's not an A minus. He's just a B. Because he's not gonna. I'm telling you, he's gonna be 3 months. Like you'll forget about him on your roster in 3 months. But I do like him. Not to say that that's a bad thing. It's just I just don't see what you're gonna do with him. I think Zulag. I think Bertilla, whatever her name was, Ruben, Glinda, and ooh, my stomach.
Uraeus.
Urias. They're all B's. Like they just nothing was special out of this group of Hero of the Months. And the sad thing about that is that we've gone through a year of it. You got to go back to the purple Hero of the Month for I guess Clarissa or no, excuse me. Yeah, let me see. I think it's Clarissa. I'm messing up names right now today, but I just look at all of them now. Like, let me see. Yeah, Clarissa, Raphael. Who else was on this group right here? It was a red. I just can't think. I think I have them. I just don't think I leveled them. Oh yeah. That's who it was. It was where's she at? Nor. Yeah, there we go. Nor, and then Zoc, and then Bayoung. Like Bayoung to me probably was the best out of those. But I mean, I like Clarissa because she's very fast. But and that probably made her more of a grab than me. But like, look where she's at right now. She's on the bench. Like I'm not using Clarissa, and I think the same thing's going to happen with Uraeus, Glinda, Ruben. Uh, oh man, I'm messing up her name. Bad. I'm just bad with names today. But I think it's just going to happen with this whole batch. The last year of Hero of the Months are all B list, and unless you have a specific team set up for them, like I don't think they're like the ones that are like game changing or that you're going to keep around forever. Like none of the last 12 Hero of the Months are forever heroes. Here we go. Bertilla. Yeah, I thought I said it right the first time. Yeah, none of these guys, Bertilla, Glinda, Zulag, Nor, Zoc, Bayoung. Like you see, like I've literally not leveled a single one of them up. Like I got Ruben up, I've got Clarissa up, and I've got Raphael up, but I needed a healer. I like very fast, kind of played into my thing, but I just don't see where Uraeus and all of them are gonna be more than what you want them to be. I'm looking at. I like Zulag because I need another healer. I like Raphael because I need another healer. Clarissa was very fast. This guy's a sniper, and would be my first yellow minion hero. So that would put him on the board for me. So like for people who are running Freya or running the butterfly chick, increasing the minion damage around them and putting a rainbow team together, and then everybody does minions. That would be cool with Krampus and some of the other ones that are really strong. I just don't see this guy lasting 3 months. That's where I'm at with that. Like you still see a Cutchin coming off the bench. You still see a Gravemaker come off the bench. You still see Teleria Vela coming off the bench. Like they're still relevant, I think, heroes. I just don't think this guy's gonna be around long enough because he just doesn't fit every tier of the game. Like I would never use this guy on Mythic Titans. I wouldn't use this guy on a Titan. I wouldn't use him on defense. So there's three aspects of the game that I play very heavily that he's not even fitting into. Now, is he cool? Yeah, absolutely. Does he go against raid? Raid offense, absolutely. Raid offense, cool. Is he kind of a unique trick hero? Yeah, I mean minion counterer. So if like you miss Grimble, this is a great substitute for that. The difference I would compare there is that Grimble is more of a team player. At least with Grimble, you're getting your mana up, so the whole team can come back. With Uraeus, yeah, they got a 315 dot, but like as fast as the butterfly chicken Freya go off, that dot is going to be null and void to the minion that comes back. Yes, he bypasses the damage of minions, but it doesn't say the dot does. So the dot's going to burn the minion after the minion goes back off. And so if you got those teams that are set up with 2 minion or 3 minion meta teams, yeah, he kills one of those, and everybody gets a dot. But if a minion comes back up, that dot is just ate right back up. So I don't really care about that. I care about him actually producing a minion for my yellow teams, which I think is kind of cool. Might make a pretty decent addition to Leo. Pretty good addition to White Rabbit just for the downs, so he'd be cool there. Um, and he'd actually go in a nice sequence because you'd have Rabbit who'd go off first, Leo with the skin would go off a little bit faster than he would, and then he'd come in with a big hit and possibly knock somebody out. But I might use, I don't know, Drake, June Skin, or Thor, or even Odin before I used him for that. So I don't know. I just think he's, like I said, he's a COVID-19 shot, man. We needed him 6 months ago, maybe even longer than that. I just hate the fact that right now, the meta that we're in Empires and Puzzles is that the Hero of the Month counter doesn't come until a year later. Like, if this guy would have been Bae Young, I think the last 6 months would have been completely different. So far, is everybody's a day late and a dollar short with the hero development. Um, this is just too late, too late, too soon. I don't think he's A. I don't think he's more than a B for me. I don't think he's more for a B for most of your counts. If you get him, he's your first yellow, absolutely yellow him, or level him, play what you got. I would throw some would throw some love his way. I just happened to just do 2 yellows that were really significant. So on the cusp of Thor and Odin, this guy is no Thor or Odin. So that's where I'm at with him. Not to just straight trash him, but again, happy to have another minion minion maker for yellow. So that's always nice. But other than that, I don't have much else to say about him. I think I'm happy for this selection of Hero of the Month to be over because they were all B's like the last set of Hero of the Month. So that's all I got, guys. Kill it out. I'm sorry to be kind of a negative on this one. I don't see it. I don't think it's that relevant. And the double passives, they're gonna keep doing this. I'm not really worried about it. I like the new unique passives of minion destroying and healing. I like that one. That was pretty cool. And then Bertilla has one crazy to where she gets to destroy a minion and gets mana. I think that's pretty cool. I think they should keep doing something like that. I'm looking for something with defensive up or defensive down here pretty soon. I think that would be really cool. Just don't put it on a paladin, please, SG. Other than that, that's all I got. Kill it out. Peace.